Your voice is gonna come out though.
My music.
No, your voice.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
going live now.
Okay, come on.
Good day, my people. Good afternoon, good evening, good whatever. Good. Happy weekend. Welcome to Miro African Television. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are about to host our brother, our lovely brother, Mr. Clayton Udoh. He's from Calabar River State, and on Facebook, he's projecting another power pushing for the secession and for also for the unity of the Biafran people. And also, I have a brother with me, Chi Zoram, is also with me on air. We are about to ask this our brother from River State, from Calabar, the reason why he joined the Biafra struggle, because we haven't seen anybody from their area joining the struggle. So please hold on the line. Let me call him in. Mr. My brother Chinagrom, please address our people. They are now live watching you.
Okay, welcome everyone. Good afternoon from here. I'm Mazic Kuka Chizoram. I'm calling from Istanbul, Turkey. I hope we have a nice time today.
Yes, we got to have a very wonderful day today. I hope you will be able to be hearing this, our brother, so that he will be hearing us too.
Hopefully.
Waiting for him to pick my call. He's not picking, but let me set up my camera so that people will be seeing me.
Okay.
So I think I'm on air now. So let me call him again.
I can't see you.
You can't see me?
On YouTube.
Why is this guy calling now? I told him that it's gone. He got to wait next time.
Okay, I'm
So
seeing you now.
yeah, now I'm in. So let me get our visitor. Let me get him. So hello, Mr.
Hello.
Clinton. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Can't you hear him? I can hear him from here.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the line is going through. Mr. Clinton, can you still hear me?
I can hear you very well. You're very loud.
It's technical.
Hello.
Can you
Hello.
hear?
I
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now. Chinagrom, can you hear me?
Positive. I can hear you very well.
I can hear you
Hello,
very well.
Chinagrom, can you hear me?
Chizoram, yeah, I can
Oh,
hear you.
Chizoram, sorry, my brother. Chizoram, let me write it down so that I won't be making mistake. Chizoram. And my brother Clinton, I'm sorry that I'm having some technical issues. I have to resolve it.
It's okay now.
But can you hear
It's
me?
okay now. Can you hear
Yeah.
him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear everyone. Clayton, welcome. It's Mazichkuka Chizaram.
But I'm not hearing you guys. That's another thing.
Okay, here's the thing. Can you hear me? Me, Clayton. Can you hear me? Me, Clayton. Can you hear me, Clayton?
Clayton, I can hear you, Chuka.
Hey, God.
I can hear you via Skype here, you know. There's a technical problem there.
Good day, my people. Welcome to today's show. Welcome to Miro African Television. I am your host, Zebedi Ejike Korea. On today's program, we have on our midst our brother, Clayton Udoh, and China Zorom, is from Turkey, and I'm from German, and our brother is from US, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Houston, Texas, United States. Houston,
Okay.
Texas.
So, my brother, please talk to your people. They are listening. Mr. Udoh.
Welcome to the show. We're here to exchange ideas, at least to learn from each other. I want to thank Ejikeme and Mazi Chizorom for their time, because time is of the essence for most of us. We use our time for things. So, but for us to have this time to just address the people, I thank them for coming in. And I'll just hand over back to the presenters so that we don't waste any more time, so that we get right to the crux of the issue.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chizorom, please greet your people.
Yeah, my people, good evening. This is Mazichkuka Chizorom, bona fide son of the soil from Imo State. I'm calling in from Istanbul, Turkey. I hope we have a wonderful time today.
Yes, so. So, without wasting much of your time, I will say sorry for that. First of all, the technical issue that we just got before now is resolved. So, without wasting much of your time, let's jump in. Mr. Clayton Udoh, please tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, your origin? And just Wajai.
Okay. Are you streaming it on Facebook?
No, only on YouTube.
No, Clayton, I'm talking about Clayton. You should have been streaming it on Facebook.
Is it possible?
Oh, no, I'm not. He used a WhatsApp to get me, so I don't know.
Okay. I thought maybe you have a second phone or a second device. No problem.
No, okay. I don't have a second device on it.
Okay, thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to give myself in a nutshell. I was born in Sacramento, California. In those days, Naira, it was 80 kobo to a Naira. So Nigerians didn't used to stay. Immediately they finished they dropped their pen, they leave. My father dropped his pen of his PhD and took me back to Nigeria. I did primary 4, 5, 6, got into secondary school, got into university, did NYSC. I taught for 4 years in secondary schools in Nigeria. And then I turned around and told my father that there's no hope. And that was even in the years 2000 or so. He said, well, you can go back. So I came back. I've done from selling cars, every odd job you can think of. Then I went back to college, got a few certifications and degrees, and I'm now a software engineer. And so I've had a lifetime in overseas. I've had a lifetime in Nigeria. Thank God for technology like this. It's more interesting because we are now more in touch with what's going on. And that's pretty much my life. So I did go to school. I've had extensive exposure to the Igbos. When I finished secondary school, my dad said, "You're too small to go to university." He put me in Federal School of Arts and Science, Aba, or Hill. And I was there for 2 or so years, just hanging there till he felt I'm tall enough to go to school or big enough. I don't know what was his mind. But when I was there were people, Igbo people who on sight in seeing me, adopted me as their son. You know, I was someone that had a lot of money and people never knew the source of the money. It was because people adopt me as their son. They say, I love this boy. They give me money. They give me clothes. They give me everything. I had an amazing time. Amazing time. When I went back to university in Akwa Ibom, I was very sad, actually. I wasn't happy. I came back again in my youth service, and I had people who just saw me and adopted me in youth service. Youth service, they'll see me and say, I like this guy. They'll be giving me. And so, believe it or not, I see the Igbo people as my brothers. I see them as people I can trust, I can talk to, I can work with them. But I've also seen some of the things that they have as a problem. And so that will come in the next series of questions. But at least you can see my frame of mind that I'm not a stranger. I'm part of you guys in the whole story, you know. And where I come from in Akwa Ibom State, you walk only 5 minutes and you cross into Igbo land.
Wow.
So you're there. So we've had that interaction. You could be in my village. You stand in my village and you walk 5 minutes and you're in Igbo land. Just 5 minutes. Just walking on foot. So it's one of those interesting things that you may encounter. So I'll hand over back to the presenter. That's just my story in a nutshell.
Thank you very much, my brother. My people, as you can just see it, most of our people, most of our viewers are the one that have been watching your program on Facebook, and they keep on asking me about Clayton Udoh. I say, I don't know Clayton Udoh. We are in there. They say go to Facebook and search for him. Now, my people, Clayton Udoh is here, and you can hear from the horse's mouth. Clayton Udoh, the question that keeps on coming in is this. What really energizes you to come out boldly to discuss Biafra?
Biafra, first of all, is history. That is one of the things that I was very fascinated with. My parents have told me the stories about Biafra. Biafra affected our area very seriously. So when we talk about Biafra, my parents have told me the stories. As a kid and as a grown-up, they've told me. My mother had very close interactions with the problems of the Civil War. My father had close interactions with it. Now, the next aspect of it is, I would say it is twofold. Number one is the emergence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu coming up with this concept, that this concept is now relevant in this day and age. The second incident, because I say it's a convergence of two things, is one, the emergence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The second one is the failure of Nigeria. Now, the failure of Nigeria is something that I'm looking at very closely, and I'm looking and I'm calculating based on my experiences on both sides of the Atlantic. And I want to let you know, with the extensive knowledge I have, I don't think Nigeria will ever recover from what it is. I do not believe. It is based on an intrinsic belief system in my heart that Nigeria cannot recover from what it has evolved into. It has evolved into something that is unsustainable at this stage. It's evolved into something that is really a construct. And the construct is not of our own doing, but is of external powers that came in there. We've not been able to escape the effects of colonialism, the colonial structure, and our insistence that we want to abide by the colonial structure that was given to us, that we inherited after the colonial people left, is the downfall of Nigeria. Mix that with uncertainty in how democracy should actually work, with tribalism, with corruption, and a few other factors, and then you discover that Nigeria is unsustainable. In the idea of saying that Nigeria is unsustainable, the question we will now ask ourselves is, where is the way to go? Now, that is where people like Mazi Chizorom comes in and says, well, this is what's going on. Because Mazi Chizorom is very analytical. He talks about he gives us the possibilities. I believe that at this stage, maybe we should return back to the structures we had before the colonial interjection. Because it was peaceful. It was way peaceful. We were prosperous. We weren't doing badly. We may have to revert back, like what happened to the USSR. They revert back to the regions that existed before the USSR took over all these huge landmass. And then maybe we will have peace. Now, when you look at the idea of reverting back, that's where Biafra becomes relevant suddenly. Okay. Now, here is the thing that is really a debate. Would it be called Biafra? Would it be called some other name? Does it necessarily have to be this? What is really the map? What will the map look like? Will it be one country, or may it even be a dissection into so many different regions that each operate as independent autonomous bodies or entities? That question is a question that I think we have to debate on. And this is above the idea of, if you're not a member of IPOB and the little keyboard gangsters. I call them keyboard gangsters. The people who are coming in to say, you don't talk this way, you don't do this way, you're not acting this way, so therefore you're a saboteur. Or you are not reacting this way, so therefore you're... No. The actual discussion of a brand new country coming to existence or a brand new structure coming to existence, as I say, it could be a structural issue here, is very, very complex. And that is where I grapple into the story of Biafra. Mazi Chizorom has grappled into the story with his own analysis. We all grapple into it. But we can agree on one thing, common ground. The present Nigeria is not working.
Of course.
We can agree on the common ground of that the present Nigeria doesn't work. My presenter, I'll leave it back to you.
Okay, Mr. Chizorom, what would you like to chip in on what he just said?
No, I wouldn't. No one would get any counter argument from me on the issue that the present state of Nigeria is not working. I will go further than that. The present understanding Nigeria is understanding your locality. Understanding your locality is equally understanding the entire Africa. It's a dynamic issue in the sense that you would be existing in three places at the same time to understand it. Because whatever problem you see we are having is bigger than it seems and is smaller than it looks. So on the issue let me go back to the main issue. The reason we are still here talking about Biafra, even after they tried to quash it many years ago, why we are still doing it is because of the thing that led to the creation of Biafra in the first place, which is injustice and outright hatred, outright. In fact, I don't know how I will put it, but there is this animosity that is existing in that country. People may think that it started with the 66 coup. No, it didn't. It started way long before that. Even it started as early as 1922. That is about less than how many? About 8 years after the amalgamation of Nigeria, the northern and the southern protectorate. And many people have not understood that, but that is a story for another day. But going back to what our brother said, Biafra is an issue that you can never deal without. You can never tell the history of Nigeria without mentioning it. In fact, it's the most consequential issue in Nigeria after the amalgamation.
Yes.
And for our brother, I wouldn't want to put words in his mouth or assume, but from what he has analyzed so far, you can see that the only reason we are talking about this is injustice and the system doesn't work. And I want to go further and say that it doesn't even work for anybody, even for the people that they gave power. It doesn't work for them. They are worse than any other region you can point to in Nigeria. That's my take.
Okay, let me go back again and ask Mr. Udoh. most of your people in Nigeria are distancing themselves in discussing the affairs of Biafra. How come about you? Why did you? Is it because it's 5 minutes to Igbo land that planted the gene in you? You know?
Yeah, that's a very powerful question, and I'm going to be very careful how when I answer this question. You see, first of all, I think it's a matter of it's really a matter of your orientation. Okay. My orientation is about the now. My consciousness of what's happening around me right now really pushes me. And in the now, a person has to look at himself and say to himself, what is really the purpose of life? Why are we here on this earth? I think that's a very big question we need to ask ourselves, first of all. Now, a lot of us have answered those questions in different ways. Some people feel we're here on this earth to be altruistic, that is, helping others, doing a lot for other people, like Google, creating information that people freely go in and access information. That's an altruistic spirit. Or YouTube, creating a forum where people can freely load videos for free. That's the altruistic spirit. Other people are here on how much can I get out of life, the experience called life, before I leave. I'm here to grab as much as I can, get what I can, die, and be buried. For some other people, and here is where I come in, some other people are looking at it from the idea of lineage, the idea of legacy. I'm here to do what I can and to leave a world that is better for those who are coming after me. Okay? So there's so many reasons why people are here on earth. However, where I come in is when, according to the philosophy of the city-states, where my reason destroys your reason for existence. That is where I come in. That is where I really become very powerful. I come in and say, okay, what is my reason? What is your reason? Our reasons should synchronize and help us to have the best experience possible. But where my reason for being existent interferes with Mazi Chizorom's reason, to the point that Mazi Chizorom is stranded, then I become very, very alert. I become very, very sensitive. My brother, when you look at Nigeria now, let us say that an average Nigerian wants to be altruistic. They don't even have the chance to be altruistic. That is, they want to serve others and be truly magnanimous in creating an impact in the life of other people. That ability is destroyed. Okay, then let us say they want to also even be more like, let's say, ultra-capitalistic. Just grab as much as I can before I die. That reason is also defeated. Okay, then let us say that they're also there for the idea of legacy. Legacy now is out of the reach of a lot of Nigerians. That I will do the most I can and leave as much as I can for the generations to come. Is out of the reach of Nigerians. We are talking about a total collapse of any purpose that you came to earth for life among this population of people, whatever could have been the reason why you think you are alive. And in that situation, I look at the structure and I say to myself, okay, why is it that a group of people could be in that situation where it's not working for them at any level and they're quiet? They just sit in there. They're just okay with it. And they don't say anything about it. And I want to truly believe that the people have been brainwashed in believing that this is the way it's supposed to be and that this is how it's going to go. The brainwashing has come from several systems. Number one, religion is one. Religion has created an incredibly high level of brainwashing. Another one, too, is the structure of life. And another one, three, is people don't believe there's an alternative. There is no alternative. They are told this is it. There's no alternative. There's no alternative out. Fourth is an absence of ingenuity. The ingenuity of thought is absent. With these things, people like me, I am very, very sensitive to watch and say, okay, this is where I'm connecting the dots. And so I break out as a Calabar man and say, it's not working. But let us look at the average Nigerian who not able to say it's not working? Well, number one, you say it's not working. People will ask you, okay, that's old news. What are you going to do about it? Okay. And when they say, what are you going to do about it? You really don't have anything you think you can do about it because there's no justice. If you open your mouth and talk, maybe you could die. If you try to do some kind of demonstration, maybe you could be shot down in the streets. You may be regarded as being stupid on that you are actually talking about something while people are going to work in the morning to their little secondary school jobs or working in the civil service and whatever. So it becomes an issue that is, the people are pushed into a situation where there's nothing we can do really. That is where I stepped out and said there is that kind of an atmosphere is unnatural and is against the natural laws of existence of human beings. There has to be a way out. There has to be a process by which people can have some kind of redemption. Life in itself is unlimited. This is my belief system, that life is unlimited. All that is necessary for every one of us in life to be successful is already and has already been supplied. Whatever problems we have on earth is man-made.
Okay.
Is man-made. So at this point, I just want to say here that where people ask, oh, how did you come into the issue of Biafra, is because I'm watching a people claim there's no way out. I'm watching a people claim what we are experiencing is normal when it is not normal. I'm watching a people have everything that is the options that was given to them freely as human beings taken away from them, even down to the freedom to speak. Nigerians have been conditioned to the point that speaking is like this guy there, he's trying to look for attention. He's trying to be noticed. They make noise, but they are suffering. It's the ultimate brainwash.
Yes. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
That's it.
Okay. Let me ask you another question. Mr. Chinagrom, do you have anything to chip in?
No. The question was about him and his struggle and his people, so I can't speak for them. I would rather watch my mistake this time.
Okay, let me ask you another thing. The first day that I found you on Facebook, I was reading lots of comments, and all those comments, 80% were not friendly. Where did they get it wrong? What did you do?
Where they got it wrong is the inability is that a lot of them are bringing the zoo with them, the so-called zoo, the brainwash that they have been brainwashed into seeing things in a peculiar way. They are bringing it into this movement. Please let us remember the primary, I would say, reason for the movement. It is to create a country. But Nigerians have been conditioned to believe that in anything you do, you must be some part of a group, an organization. You cannot bring anything successful into politics if you're not in PDP or APC. You cannot bring anything successful into being a teacher unless you're a member of the National Union of Teachers of Nigeria. It is a system that was brought to us by the colonial masters, because the colonial masters discovered that where we were very dangerous is when we are not operating as a group, when we are operating based on a kind of asynchronous movement. So therefore, the easiest way to be able to put people under control is group them. When you group them, if you cut off the head of the group ends. And also, if you promote the head of the group flourishes.
Yes.
Okay. But I can tell you that in many, many instances, group arrangements where if it's not IPOB, it means you're not for Biafra, can be very, very destructive, can be very, very disastrous. Because this is more complex than a group. This is about creating a country. This is a country. And the country you are trying to create involves people that, whether you like it or not, may want to identify with your group or may not want to identify with your group. But you have claimed their landmass. You've claimed their landmass. You claim that their landmass should come into your map. But how about if they don't want to be part of your organization or your group? Does that mean they have no respect for the country that will be made? Exactly. So I think that is where they got it wrong. Another place where they got it wrong is, and I see it as a level of low education, is what is the definition of a saboteur? What is the definition of a saboteur? You see, I'm going to say some things today that is very dramatic. I'm going to say some things today that is very, very dramatic. It is not the person who starts a revolution may not necessarily become the head of the new government and when the revolution is over.
Yes.
This is a very dramatic thing I've said today. So the person who starts a revolution may not become the head of government when the revolution is over. So I'm hearing people bringing aspects of the old system in. You know, for example, they say this person is a supreme leader. He is our leader. He may be a leader. He is involved in a movement that is very, very honorable, and he has made a legacy. Supreme leader, that's a terminology that's a little bit different too, because what does it imply? When a new country will be created, can we have a government without him being the head, or does he have to be the head? So you see, these are the things that, because a lot, where I'm putting this point is because when I came in, people wanted to hear me say I'm loyal to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And if I'm not saying I'm loyal to him, it means I shouldn't be part of Biafra.
Okay.
People wanted to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, I had to tell them that I have nothing against this man. I have nothing against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, I am operating on his platform. Okay. But because you don't hear me mentioning his name doesn't mean I have anything against him. Now, here's another thing I wanted to point out, and that's the final thing I wanted to point out, which is it was really an Igbo movement. Let's be honest. It was an Igbo movement, and my kind, the Kwaibomite, wasn't in it. And when something that is strange comes into your midst, sometimes people don't know how to handle it. Something that they're not used to, something that they're not accustomed to. It is okay for us to excuse people who cannot handle it. But the fact of the matter is, maybe those people who are not accustomed or used to an Akwa Ibom man being involved are also not used to the idea of really understanding how big this structure will be. The structure may involve Akwa Ibom, may involve Cross River State, may involve Bayelsa, may involve River State. Are they used to the idea that it's going to involve other people? That is not my problem. It is their own problem. Are they used to the idea that the structures they're asking for may involve other people? So I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
That's the issue here.
Thank you. Mr. China Chizorom, you are also involved because he mentioned that this movement is Igbo movement, not Biafra movement. So how do you see the movement? Do you see the movement as Igboism movement, or you see it as a Biafra movement?
First of all, I want to touch on the main issue he raised here the time he began. Before he snowballed into this one you asked me now.
Okay.
About attitude and character of people and their level of tolerance or intolerance, as the case may be. That thing, all those things you are talking about, everything there is subjective. Human beings are horrible. Human beings are good. Human beings understand. Human beings misunderstand.
Yes.
So it is human nature. You can never ever exclude it from human nature. So it's not whether you are in Nigeria or you are in this. It goes to the heart of what we are saying, you know. Let us stop assuming that maybe if Biafra comes, but everything will be good or it will be all rosy. No, you only change names. Your true character is there. A lot of us here cannot even drink with some of our cousins. So are they from the north? Are they not Igbo? So that thing is human character. So until we reform ourselves, our attitudes, every society is a manifestation of the people living in it. Let me give you, for instance, here in Turkey, You will see somebody, he will just be driving, the streets are narrow. He will be driving, next thing he will just stop, get down, open his boot, bring down some things, take it inside one shop, come out, enter his car and drive out. The man behind him will just wait. He will finish. He will not even, most of the time, they will not even acknowledge the person that had been waiting for them, not even a wave. Sometimes when you do that, you wave at them, they will just be like, ah. That is to show you how they, and they didn't even cause, it doesn't cause problem, but try it in Nigeria. Just that you park, the person can easily cross from the other side. You will see insult, you decrease. So that thing is not about country, it is about attitude and the culture people are accustomed to. So if we are going to reform, I'm asking people, if let's say Biafra is coming in the next 1 month, does it mean that you can't start changing right now till that 1 month? The thing is that we are jumping the gun. And sometimes when we make some statements, it's easy. It's easy to attribute everything to Nigeria. It's easy when you have a fall guy. Everything is always easy because you always take the easy way out. We attribute it to Zoo character, but it's not Zoo character. It's everywhere. It's prevalent in every part of the country, in everywhere. That is why we need to change, because if you don't change it, whether you call yourself a Nigerian or a Biafran, as long as you didn't change the attitude, you are still a horrible person. That's the only thing I want to contribute in that.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. And Mr. Udoh, I'm very happy that you are pinpointing everything. Let me ask you one strong question. Are you loyal to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
Okay. Can you repeat the question again? Because we're having these little fluctuations.
Okay. My question stated, all this fight, all this misunderstanding flying from up and down, and people pushing you to the wall to make you to take a stand or take side. I would like to chip in a question that most of them, if they come here, they would like to ask that question. Are you loyal to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB?
Okay. Let me tell you what's going on right now. And let me tell you how it works. And I've said it again, and I say it again. I'm working hand in hand with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But again, if you look at it, we have several organizations that are working to create Biafra. Whether it is the Lower Niger Congress, whether it is MASO, whether it is, so there's several. Can your audience be okay with the idea that I don't even want to be identified with any organization? Because at any point, at any time, if they succeed in destroying the heads of those organizations are done. I want to be a freedom fighter that is free to express my ideas about what this country should be like.
Like a freelance.
I'm freelance. And freelance is not a saboteur. Freelance is, I am a free thinker. I am a free thinker. And as a free thinker, I want to be able, because see, here's the problem with all these things.
But wait, before you continue. As you are seeing the Biafra movement as Igbo organization, Igbo People's Club, let's use that word, Igbo People's Club.
I will correct you there. I will correct you. I don't see it as that. I don't see it as that. I know that the people who are in it see it as that. I don't see it as that. That's why I'm involved. I'm involved because I don't see it as that.
Okay.
You point that, but I want you to know that I see it as that if it's to become a country, this is the kind of people they will have to deal with. They will have to deal with a lot of people that are not Igbo. And so I'm trying to say right now that the people who are inside, there's a lot of people who think it's an emancipation of one tribe. They don't know it's an emancipation of a region. I'm addressing that there's a lot of people who are seeing it from the point of, a lot of people in IPOB are seeing it from the point of, this is an Igbo thing. We need to save ourselves. Even people have given me texts. People have sent me messages stating that when we are the ones dying, we are the ones who've been killed, we are the ones who are suffered. They use the word we, meaning a tribe. And I am trying to make people understand that it's the battle for a region, not one tribe.
Like now, you are people. Okay.
Please.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to comment on the thing you asked him. So I want to just interject a little bit.
Okay.
And there is a point you made. I'm not sure people quite understand it. Let me try and see if I can put it better. You asked him if he's loyal to Nnamdi Kanu. And you asked another thing, but those are if you're loyal to IPOB. Those things are separate, but they are together. See, it's trying to get people to understand that you can separate the man from the mission. Is he loyal to the cause 100%? Could he be loyal to Nnamdi Kanu? It depends on what you call loyalty, because that word is subjective. To you, loyalty could mean whether good or bad, I'll follow him. To him, loyalty could mean as long as he's getting it right, I'm with him, which goes back to separating the man from the mission. So that is where what I wanted to drop it.
Clayton Udoh, that's your guy. I can see that. Let me chip in another thing. As your people or the River State people are distancing themselves on this struggle, being led by Nnamdi Kanu, even though I think the people from the River State are more, they identify themselves more on Melsop than IPOB. As they are distancing themselves on the affairs of IPOB today, and you are running your program today on your own platform, Facebook, do you think they are listening to you?
For me, as someone who is from my area, they've all heard me. And they've all dismissed me as a clown. I am a clown.
Wow.
And I'm going to explain to you the reason why. They don't believe that this movement has any hope of becoming anything. That's the first thing I want to let you know. And when I brought this issue, people came in and couldn't. That was the strangest thing I've ever experienced. They didn't listen to me. They rather said, he's a saboteur. He's trying to destroy the movement. Get him out of here. I was telling them, can you listen to me? That some of the places you want on your map don't even believe in you. They don't believe in you. There's a lot of people out there who do not believe that this movement is going to come out of anything. And there is other factors. For example, I told people that I don't know whether people really know what happened in Akwa Ibom State. In Akwa Ibom State, as of 2000 that I left, it was bush. It was bush. We didn't even have roads. We didn't have roads. As of 2000 that I left, okay, let me tell you how I got out of Akwa Ibom State in 2000. You climb a taxi to Aba to join the buses in Aba. If it wasn't for buses in Aba, people wouldn't get to Lagos.
Yes.
I'm trying to explain to you
yes.
how I left Nigeria. Climb taxi in Uyo to get to Aba to join Chisco. That took me in an overnight bus to Lagos. Chisco was the lifeline. Aba buses were the lifeline of our area to get to Lagos. And then you arrive in Lagos and then found my way to the airport and I was gone. That's the Akwa Ibom I left. Then a man called Akpabio became the governor. And in no time, they had roads, they had everything. In this story, there were people who were made multi-billionaires. I mean, you will never hear their names. They're quiet. Because Akwa Ibom minds are very, very good in believing in that when you have money, you hide who you are or you'll be destroyed. They are very quiet. There are people who have conquered, they have literally conquered money. They have houses here in the United States. They have houses in Europe. They have houses everywhere. They can afford, even though they will drive a Toyota Camry. They can afford any car in the world. They've made it. Those people, for you to tell them that the system that made them will evaporate and will be gone, you're lying. You're lying.
Please, let me Let me comment there. That thing he said, let me even start from the beginning. Akwa Ibom people, let's not kid ourselves. When Biafra happened, okay, someone from there was the 2IC, right? But that was as far as it goes.
Philip Efio.
They weren't brought into it, and it was because of Biafra that for the first time since the British invasion, since the British and the French war and the Bight of Biafra, which they called Gulf of Guinea, which later gave French the Southern Cameroon and all these ones. Since that time, there was never a time soldiers, military men, navy, just an army of killers. That's what I call those military guys. They are just trying to kill. That was the first time they marched through their land, and it was because of issue of Biafra. And now, after the end of the Biafran War, for them, they wouldn't want anything that would bring soldiers into their land anymore. And coupled with the fact that even when Biafra was in control of that area, they weren't even put into the system. So why would they want to risk their safety for a place they are not even wholly accepted? Like Clayton said, even on that, when you watch his pro show on Facebook, you'll be, he said that he called them keyboard whatever, that is a little group. No, I don't agree that it's a little group. It's a large group of people that will be attacking you. Now, don't you think that before you can sell the idea of Biafra to Akwa Ibom man, you need to show him something? You need to forget about accepting, rubbing hands together, hugging. That is just virtue signaling. You need to show him something on the ground. The man needs to know that that thing you are looking for is happening today and tomorrow, very quickly, and it is not going to upset the current state he's in. You hear Clayton talk about how undeveloped the place was. Now, before you sell something to a man, you have to give him something that's better than what he already has. And if we are being honest to ourselves, Biafra is not going to happen in the next 15, 20 years unless there is any catalytic event in Europe.
Let me ask another question. Both two of you. So the question goes to both of you.
Okay.
Men looking at how things are moving now, both Biafra, Nnamdi, and IPOB, do you think that it will be actualized? The way they are handling the affairs and things.
Okay. I'll take an attempt on this. Now, there are two ways it can go. Please forgive me. I'll go back a little bit to complete Mazi Chizorom's statements.
Okay.
And please forgive me because I want your listeners, please forgive me for doing this. I want your listeners to have the benefit of the doubt. Akwa Ibom has no good recollection of the Biafran War. It's bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. From the stories I'm hearing from my father and mother, from Biafran soldiers seizing women and they never saw those women again, to seizing their goats, their cows, anything they could lay their hands on.
Yes. Yes.
To snipers in trees, and people are falling and dying and they didn't know why until someone came and shot the sniper down.
One minute. The call is coming in. Let's pick the call and see. Just hold on. Let me see whether you guys will hear him.
Please forgive me. I'll go back a little bit to complete my statement.
Please, can you pause the? Can you pause the?
I want your listeners to have the benefit.
The caller, can you pause the video?
Of the Biafra. Bad. It's all bad.
Hello, the caller. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, I can hear you.
BVI and Chinazorom and Mr. Udoh. Can you hear him?
I can't hear him.
Okay.
No.
1 minute. Okay, the call online. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, can I continue for the benefit of time?
Continue. Cut off the listening since it's not
Yes,
connecting.
I can hear you.
So they're told to follow something that there was going to be a transition. Believe it or not, there's going to be a time when you can't take salary. You may not be able to collect pension because there's a transitional time going on. And nobody is being assured of any timetable of that transition, transition. And so people are saying that this is child's play. Yes, it may be my freedom, but for how long? Let us say, for example, what Mazi Chizaram was saying, they do Biafra today, but the transition period lasts 10 years. How are people going to survive within that time? You see, so there are questions to be asked that has not been answered, and people are uncertain. People don't like uncertainty. In this, already is bad enough as it is. Things are tough enough as it is. People don't like uncertainty. So that is just the way it is, So it is just like that,
So the question, the question was if the Biafra would be achieved anytime soon, right? Did I get that correct?
Yeah, if there is any possibility, if we'll be able to actualize what we are looking for, the way things are moving today.
Let me tell you something. If anybody is telling you that from anything on ground, that there is any sign that Biafra is going to be actualized in 10 years' time, tell the person it's a lie. Because first and foremost, before creating a new country is not an easy thing. And from the way people sound, from the way people are sounding, you find out that they are putting the horse before the cat before the horse. Please, brother, keep your phone very well. It's interrupting with this thing. The way things are going. There is nothing on ground to show that this is going to happen anytime soon. And if people are honest with themselves, before you map out a country, that there are a lot of things that needs to happen. Once there will be a conversation about that, do you know what it takes to even get a referendum, to put a referendum front? No referendum has been put. In many cases, it takes years. Look at the Scottish referendum. Do you know when they've been calling for it? Do you know how long it took them? Scotland, as big as it is, imagine where it is situated on the world map, is Europe. A European nation cannot get their independence. That is noise.
Chinedu also, please check your side. Noise is coming from your area. Can you hear me, Chinedu?
I believe.
Yeah, there is too much noise from your area. Can you drop? Let me add you. Add you back.
I am joining you from Nigeria, where there is no power.
Chinedu, can you drop? Let me call you back.
I'll tell you the other situation to understand that. Okay. I'll maybe join you later when I'm in the car.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Man,
Sorry, please.
that was very disturbing.
Yeah,
Come on.
please
So
go ahead.
now I can concentrate and say this. Biafran actualization, don't get me wrong. I've been saying it and I will remain consistent with it. Nigeria deserves to be broken into 8 places at least. That 8 will be like a starting point. And if you want to bring a real administration to that country, that is, if they refuse to restructuring of Nigeria, let me tell you people, nobody is going to restructure Nigeria unless you run the place as a real republic. You see, in the United States of America, why would somebody like Donald Trump care about what is happening in, let's say, Montana? Because Montana has 2 senators. Those senators can swear votes. No matter how small it is, they still have 2 senators. In Nigeria, we have 3 senators each, no matter the size of this. But as long as we don't have like an electoral college system, coupled with true federalism where regions are allowed to develop themselves, manage their resources, and maybe pay some level of tax to the central power. But all these things you're saying could only be the things that will. Okay, let me just put it this way: Nigeria, Biafra now, it's never going to happen. But in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Let's set ourselves the truth. But my point is this: let us see what we can do to develop the region. And when you want to talk about Biafra, Akwa Ibom people and these people joining Biafra, first of all, you have to make a move. What move are you going to make? Let there be regional government. And by the time they see the way you run yours, the way they run yours, only then can they themselves decide whether we want to make alliance with these people, whether we want to do this and achieve this. And that is what our people should be focusing on. That is what people should be talking about right now. Biafra for now is a distraction politically. It's a huge distraction because while we are complaining about Biafra, talking about when it's going to come, it's not going to come, we are distancing ourselves from the political process of Nigeria. And Nigeria is the reality we are living in. A lot of IPOB guys will want to disassociate themselves from that reality, but you can't. You can only deny it, but that doesn't make it untrue. Biafra is not happening anytime soon, so I suggest we focus on that.
Why are you saying that Biafra is not happening anytime soon? Is it because the people managing the affairs are not doing it right, or it's just normal that it will take long before it will mature?
To understand Biafra, you have to understand Nigeria. Then who created Nigeria? What policy created Nigeria as a country? Now, as a new country, what do you need to do to become a new country? And if you look at it, we haven't even started the process. If there is going to be anything like Biafra as a nation, it has to go to the same people that created Nigeria. And so far, there is no sign that they are ready to even entertain the issue.
Okay.
And it's not. And the people talking about Biafra, who think the leading voice now on the issue of Biafra is IPOB. IPOB are not even doing anything towards that angle. It's just only shouting, making noise. Oh, hey Biafra, hey Biafra. Yes, fine. Boycott, yeah, fine. How has it advanced the ball? They've not even advanced the ball further than Mazob advanced. And I'm not saying this thing as a supporter of Mazob. If I see Wazirike tomorrow, I will confront him with his acts. One, what he did during the census of 2006 and his stupidity, and bringing people's children outside to come and die. To die for what? For nothing. So, but that is to show you that I criticize Mazob. In fact, I hate Wazirike with passion, because I lost many friends, people I know, childhood friends, on that issue. But IPOB has not even gone further than Mazob went. Yet people are still making noise. How do you think you are going to achieve it when there is nothing on ground to show it? Let's stop kidding ourselves here.
Okay, let me ask Mr. Udoh. Mr. Udoh, what do you think that we need to do to be able to achieve Biafra?
Biafra has only two roads by which Biafra can happen. Biafra can happen by going through the path of Mazichizon, which is asking hard questions, which when I went into IPOB, they told me you have no right to ask the hard questions. Shut up.
Please, can you repeat that? Please, can you repeat that?
And they told me that I have no right to ask the hard questions, that I should just shut up and follow. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, somebody just started calling in. He called before. Please, the caller on the line, stop calling. The caller on the line, stop calling through Skype. It's not working for now. If you have any question, put it in writing, please. Repeat that question again. Repeat that answer again. What you just, that statement?
The answer was I should just shut up and follow. I should shut up and follow.
Wow.
I shouldn't ask any hard questions. I should not. That I'm putting the movement backward by asking hard questions. And the hard questions are these. These are the hard questions I asked. I said, number one, what is going to be this fate of people, for example, the World Bank? All these structured loans that Nigeria has collected and all these structured financial arrangements that Nigeria has made, those structured arrangements become nullified or become void when you create a new region. The new region, you cannot hold the new region down by those contracts or structures that were made.
No, brother. No. The debt will be shared. That is why they have the Bank of International Settlement. All these international banks has not looked.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. That could actually become a long, protracted legal battle. It could become a protracted legal battle of that we do not recognize these structures based on how fraudulent they are, how criminal they are, how inconsiderate they are. They are badly. See, if you go into a situation where you say, I don't want the debt to be shared to me because it's a badly structured deal, then there is a problem. So you see, people may want to say to themselves, the World Bank may say, you know what, instead of us to even go into the future that we're uncertain of, let's make sure that these guys who are starting this succession don't even succeed. Let's get our money back first. Now, another one too is you look at people like Shell, Mobil, Exxon. These are cartels to themselves. And these cartels are looking at it and say, okay, who do we now, who is the new people that we supply oil to? And who are the new people? Because you won't divide that one. You won't say, because once let's say there was Biafra is created today, you just go in and we just cut down the oil pipes and shut them down. A Kaduna refinery becomes null and void, becomes invalid. It just becomes a building in which they can use it as a mosque. But the main issue here would be we with the oil. How does the New Deal? How is it restructured with these cartels? What I'm trying to say at this point in time is that there's so much uncertainty that when you want to go back to these powers, these forces that be, they may not be truly what is the right word, sympathetic towards the idea of Biafra. Now, that doesn't mean that they will not allow you to come into the office and discuss your idea. You are free to discuss your idea. They will smile with you. But in the underground chatter, what I call the underground chatter, the underground rhetoric, the underground message, the phone calls in the nights, you will discover that nobody is in support of you on this issue. Now, let me come to another side. Now, let us say that we now decided to grab the bull by the horns by saying we don't care about the international committee. We don't care about the world. We pick up guns and fight it out. Pick up guns and fight it out. A war of attrition. This is going to be a war where we know, yes, Shell is worried, Mobil is worried, the World Bank is worried, the G9 countries are worried. Everybody's worried about what is this new country going to be like? How is it going to treat us? Everybody is worried, and then we don't care. We pick up a gun and fight. Maybe that's a way you can create Biafra as a country. But like I said, it's two ways. Either you work with these powers or you fight your way out. Now, when you talk about fighting your way out, that becomes a much more bigger story. Because I was telling someone the other day, they insulted me severely. They said, "Oh, you're trying to destroy the movement." The military barracks of your enemy is already in your midst. All those military barracks, whether in Enugu, whether the military barracks in, they are not friendly to you. They're already right in the midst of the region you want to claim independence from. Such wars are very bad wars. I've never seen a war. A war is easier when you're fighting against an enemy that is pitched away from you. But when the enemy is already in your midst, in the form of some barracks in Enugu, or in the form of a barracks in Akwa Ibom State, or in the form of
something like
this
one they call Amawasa, that we thought that is where they, because it's in every corner in Igbo land. That Amawasa, they call it Amawasa. That's Awasa gathering areas,
Yes. So we have barracks we have a barracks in Port Harcourt. We have a very big one in Akwa Ibom State. We have a very big barracks in Enugu. We have barracks all of your enemy is already within the region. And you want to start a war with your enemy inside the region. It's going to be an incredibly... It's going to be a war on many fronts, because I think if I was a military commander, I would say, well, set the soldiers in such a way that they're facing each barracks, which I just don't know how you fight such a war. Plus, they may be facing each barracks plus a main battlefront of the north pushing into the south.
Well,
you see,
that would be very tough.
So what I'm trying to say is, because I'm trying to answer your question, which is the original question is, how can Biafra be made? Well, it's going to be either through diplomatic means, which diplomatically it's going to be very, very difficult because of uncertainty, or it's going to be by a sudden war, an organic war, which we really don't know where it's going to go.
Now let me just come in. Let me just come in, brother. Anything like I'm telling people, the only alternative to diplomatic means is a military option, and that is one thing we are not ready to entertain. Now let me ask you something. What weapons do you like? All those barracks you are talking about, all those barracks don't have the same type of munitions or armament. What do you surround them with? Do you have fighter jets that will destroy the tanks, or do you have anti-tank mines or anti-tank missiles that you will surround those barracks with? Because no matter how you surround them, once they have a mechanized division, they will still bulldoze their way through, and you will be the one to lose. So the military option is not going to work. Now let's go to the diplomatic front. I'm telling them to get Biafra peacefully. First of all, every region in Nigeria must understand how Nigeria is set up. When I hear people talk about the caliphate, I tell them, if anybody is still using the word the caliphate ruling Nigeria, the person is backward. The person needs to update his or her history column. The caliphate don't exist anymore. They are using oligarchy, and we are living under an oligarchy in Nigeria. Now, to get Biafra, you need to destroy that oligarchy. What's that oligarchy? Look everywhere in Nigeria. There is a video I made. The video I made this week. I asked them, is there any region in Nigeria where you don't have a massively wealthy political class and an acutely poor, let me not use the word working class, because there is no working class in Nigeria. We have expendable class. Even those that work for some paltry sums. I asked them that question. Found out that in every region, the people in government are the ones enjoying. That goes back to the thing I asked them. What stops the governors from using our state monies to do that? They found out that they're using that thing to build their oligarchy, because all of them know where they meet. They have governors forum. No matter your party, they still gather there. All of these people gather in to meet the same masters in Europe, in America. Go to every city. They all answer to the same people, because that is the way the system is made now. For those of them that want to tell me that the caliphate still exists, now tell me.
Go ahead. People keep
Who
on
is calling
calling.
you
I
there?
don't know why. I don't know. I don't know why. Please don't vex. Continue.
Continue, Mazi.
No problem. No problem. Oh, what was I saying, man? These people just cut me off like that.
Talk about
Listen,
the caliphate issue.
The caliphate, if the caliphate still exists, why is the governor of Kano State destroying the Kano Emirates? Look at, they've literally clipped Sanusi's wings. Even they are threatening him with jail now. During when Sultan Machido, the Sultan of Sokoto that died in plane crash, died, it was the then governor of Sokoto. I think it's Bafarawa or who. He was the one that pointed who would be the Sultan of Sokoto, because it's in his power to tell you that even those monarchies are now under the state governor. The state governor of your state can remove any grade 1 king in your place.
Okorocha did it in Imo State. He dismantled all the whole ancient all the whole ancient kingdoms have been uprooted, and they handed over new staffs to the church rats, you know.
That is what I'm telling you, for you to know that the caliphate don't exist anymore. They are ruling through oligarchy. That's why in those days, go and check the people who share, like some of the other things are sharing the resources.
That's what you want to tell me. What you are trying to say now is Nigeria has oligarchs, like in Russia. They have oligarchs that are now
not only Russia,
running their affairs.
Even the US, they have their oligarchs.
Yes, I know, like Clintons and all these untouchable people, you know.
Europe have not evolved from the Gilded Age. You see, Europe still has the Gilded Age. Go and check the Gilded Age.
Can I say something here? Come in. I wanted to say that to add to what Mazi is saying, and I want people to understand in simple terms what Mazi is trying to point out to everybody here. These same oligarchs are even in Igbo land.
Yes.
These same oligarchs in Akwa Ibom. This is the thing I was trying to explain to you, that there are people who were made extremely wealthy from Akwa Ibom's regime. These are the people who we think, you see, the followers of this movement are thinking it's the South versus the North.
No.
But it is really a class war.
Yes.
It is a war between the poor and a group of people who have decided that we that are politically well-doing, we can do what we like. Impunity. Because let us say today, in a very funny experimentation, we started a war and created Biafra. Where will Rocha Sokorocha and Orji Kalu be in? The Rocha Sokorocha of the worlds, the Orji Kalus, all these big names. The big names, for example, Madueke.
Don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself. Those guys have big followership. You understand?
They have big followership. See, this is even leads us to a deeper story.
Yes.
Is those of us who are here making noise about Biafra, but in our phones, we still have phone numbers of commissioners in the government.
Yes.
We're having phone numbers of commissioners. We are having phone numbers of ministers that we're talking to. We call them, and we're using the word connections. We call them our connections.
Let us not lose the line. Listen, let us not lose the line. You see these people you are seeing. The president you are seeing used to be the Sultan. The senators you are seeing used to be the palace chiefs, the high chiefs. The governors are now the regional chiefs. The House of Assembly members are now the State House of Assembly members are now the what you call what do they call? Is it a
local chiefs? Those are the local chiefs now.
They are the districts. They are the district chiefs. Now the king of your town is now the local chief. That is how the thing has changed. And let me tell you, to get Biafra, now you have to start the battle from in-house. What is my local government chairman doing with my money? You rally the people of your local government around to fight that local government chairman. Now, when you have covered your local government area, You people will get your state house of assembly constituency and the federal house of representative. You be in control of it. When you are in control of it, you look for the governorship first. When you are the governor, now give the people a new system of government. A new system of government. And by all the time you're doing here, these things, you have to put the issue of Biafra at the back burner. Because as soon as you bring out the issue of Biafra, the governors will have a reason to get the federal might to fight on their behalf. You find out that we will be fighting the federal as you are fighting now, while the governors are enjoying. So to get Biafra, you must leave the whole issue of Biafra at a corner. First and foremost, get politically involved. Take over your local government. From your local government, you take your House of Assembly, Federal House of Representatives, the Senate, the governorship. By the time you are ruling in your own way, these people will find out that, yes, these people are different. Only then will the people in the north, let me tell you, see, the only people holding revolution in Nigeria is the north. If the Hausas and Fulanis are educated, there is a reason they are sending them to school, give them big certificates, even when they read nothing. Because if those guys are educated and understand that why they are poor is not because of the ethnic war or hatred going in Nigeria, that is their people that have been ruling. Now, by the time Igbos are holding their own people responsible, Yorubas are holding their own people responsible, the Hausas are holding their people responsible, all of them are holding their own people responsible. Everywhere there will be chaos, and everybody can disintegrate,
Nigeria will explode from inside
peacefully. And it's not going to happen in 20 years. It's not going to happen in 40 years. It is going to take 3 generations at least. That is why we should focus on the issues that matter most. Let us prioritize our problems and follow it. That is my take.
My fear, and I'm going to put in here for real, my greatest fear in this story is, do we even have the guts that, you see, because there's one concept that is very common in Nigeria, is the concept of, yes, I know he's a thief, but he's my thief. If he's my brother-in-law, if he's my mother-in-law, if he's my cousin. Yes, we know he's a thief, but he's my own thief. Be careful how you talk to my own thief. So the problem is, do we have the guts? Because, see, when you look at the Biafra would be a revolution. Look at the revolutions that has happened historically. Do we have the guts that if you know your cousin is in this thing, if you know your cousin is involved in this thing, that you're ready, he will go down for it? It's a very big question. Do we have the guts that you know your mother-in-law is involved? Your mother-in-law is involved in this thing one way or the other. She's going down for it. Do we have the guts? Because, see, one thing is it's a very, very nursery school for us to see it as it's north versus south. No. The main problem in this story is there's so many people chopping from this so-called northern hegemony that we claim is a northern hegemony. The number of Igbo people connected to Abuja, the number of Akwa Ibom people connected to Abuja, the number of all these places connected to this corruption, are they ready to leave this corruption and follow this region? Because here's what Nnamdi Kanu is subscribing to, which I am not against him. He's subscribing to us just dividing first. I can tell you that he will have hell. All these people who are so-called commissioners now, how is he going to deal with those guys? The so-called people who are the House of Assembly members, how is he going to deal with those people? All these people who are local government chairmen and all our councillors, you think they'll just get up and go and bow for Nnamdi Kanu? Or that all these people who claim they're senators, they'll just get up as senators and go and bow for Nnamdi Kanu? You see, that is why I used to laugh. I was laughing because IPOB come and tell me, are you loyal? They come and face me. The main problem they have is there. I'm not even their problem. I'm not even close to a problem in their world. I am actually preaching their own gospel for them. The main problem they have is in their midst, is right inside there. I mean, these are people that will give them problem till they don't know what to do again.
They have been working, against them right from day one.
Let me tell you, you see that slaughter that happened the last time that Nnamdi Kanu ran and escaped. I don't know how he made it out of Nigeria. Do you know that I can tell you now that we have Igbos who are lamenting about that slaughter, but I can tell you that Igbos who rejoiced and thanked the president for bringing peace into the society. Secretly.
Of course.
They picked up
Of
the
course.
phone and called him and thanked him. And there are many.
Of course.
Not one, not two, not three people. They called the president and thanked him for bringing stability and peace and everything, because the peace is determining how he will get paid for the contract he did last month for the state government.
Yes, you are right.
The peace is determining the fact that he's in line to be called commissioner a few months from now if they do a cabinet change. The peace is determining upon the fact that you know very well for the next governorship quota is coming to your region, to your own senatorial district, and your husband most possibly will be the next governor. And you as a woman, you cannot wait to be the head of the women's movement, Madam of the States. Look, this thing, because I was surprised when I'm preaching the gospel for them and they came on me and I looked at them and laughed. The case is much more complex than they know. And the faster, the better that they realize this.
Do you think that the people leading them don't see what you are seeing and they don't want to tell them the truth?
The people leading them have seen what they're seeing, and the people at this point are operating on the miracle of just breaking the structure. That Mazi, just a second. Mazi, just
no,
a second.
when you finish, I will come in. That's why I'm just.
The people have seen it. Now, I'm going to go back to Mazi's kind of reasoning. Do we know their hearts? We don't know. Because I like Mazi reasons in that angle, that powerful angle. Do we know the hearts of these people? We don't know. But let us assume, let's assume that they badly want Biafra and they want to break it. Okay? When they break it, they are believing, here's the statement they are making, that later we will deal with the other problem. All these other things that Mazi is talking about, and I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to tell you a history of, if you want to see a history of something like that happened, go and read the French Revolution, what happened. A horrible history. Horrible. The French Revolution began, and then suddenly, just towards the end of the revolution, the elements that they did not deal with in time came out from like cockroaches come out in the night. They came out. Then they had to have a revolution inside the revolution. The revolution inside the revolution led to people dying. I'm talking about people dying. People died till they were executing. They will execute Baba. They execute seamstress. They execute taxi driver. Go and read. The executions were happening from morning till night daily in France, because they now had a situation where there was a revolution inside the revolution. Then at some point, the revolution inside the revolution created a third stage of the revolution where they had to have a revolution to kill those who started the first revolution so that there will be peace.
The same thing that happened in the
people who started the original French Revolution. The people who started the French Revolution ended up dying inside the revolution they started. They set up the guillotine and they ended up being driven to the guillotine. So what I'm trying to say is, there is a group that says, let's just break it, then we will deal with the issues later. Mazi Chizorom is saying that if you don't deal with the issues now, what will happen later? Only God in heaven will be able to understand that it will be a horror movie. It will be a horror movie.
And the people that will benefit will be our enemies.
Let me leave it for you.
Let me tell you something. Anytime when you bring about issue of justice and someone is telling you to put it at the back burner, please run. You ask the question whether those people who are leading the movement know it. There are two types of people in IPOB. Let me be frank with you. I don't speak in dog whistle. If I don't like when I talk, someone say, are you accusing this person or not? No. Listen to me, read my lips. What I'm saying is what I'm saying. If you want to say, does it mean or this or that? No, it means what I say. Let me say it now. There are two people in IPOB. Those who know what is going on and the real situation on ground and the possibilities in the future. Who know it but don't want to say anything about it, because when they do, they will lose followership, because the people following them all need to believe that it's happening today and tomorrow. Then there are other people who are passionately following it, thinking that it is the way they are telling you. And you find out that a combination of both is the reason there is problem in IPOB, is the reason you are not allowed to ask hard questions. Because when you ask that question, you are going to the heart of the issue. Questions like, ask the person, what is holding the actualization of Biafra? Is it Hausa Fulani, or is it the powers of Europe and the Americans? Not just one place in America, the entire Americans. Is it the power or the Western power, or the Hausa Fulani you are talking about? And if you tell them that it is the Western power, you find out that the people will ask you, why are we not protesting in Washington, D.C.? Why are we not protesting in 10 Downing Street? Why are we not besieging the Whitehall? Which is where the issue is supposed to be. And when they find this issue, now you will not have any other story to keep them busy with Hausa Fulani, because in that way, you have to confront the real issue. And by the time you get there, people will understand that truly there is nowhere this thing is going to, and there is no far. In fact, it hasn't shifted a bit from 2005.
But their leader is now in US. Is he visiting private people, or he's using this opportunity to make contacts and talk to the real people in charge? Go ahead, Mr. Udoh.
Can I say something there?
Yes.
With all due respect, because this is where I remember. I don't know if you guys know that what brought me into prominence in this movement was a 40-day challenge.
I would like to talk about that one. You know.
This is where our problem has started. Do I love them? I love Mazi Kanu because I have no problems with him. I've not even met the man before anyway, so I cannot say I hate him. However, if you ask me today, and I'm going to say something that can be very painful, if you ask me today, does he have to come and meet the people in Atlanta? Or would it have been better if he met several U.S. congressmen and very key figures in the White House today? I would tell you that one would have been much more profitable than the other. Okay? One was he came to Atlanta and talked to some people inside a hall, our people. That's okay. But if he had been able, I would have rather, the spirit I came into this movement would have been, I see him moving into a room with Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State for the United States of America.
That bloodsucker.
It's not.
You see.
No, I say that it's bloodsucker. He love wars. You know, the man like war. That's why. You know?
Yeah, but
let me tell you something, brother. It's never ever Mike Pompeo. Don't forget where he started. The Heritage Foundation and the Council of Foreign Relations. It ain't gonna happen. Even as I'm talking to you, Mike Pompeo is in Geneva, Switzerland. It's not even on the US government this thing. You can't find it there. But Mike Pompeo is in Geneva.
No,
in Switzerland. I'm talking to you, attending the Bilderberg group meeting. And those are the people holding us. If there are places they are talking about Biafra now, it will be in the Bilderberg group, and that is where you see them talk about the real issue in the world. That is where you will know that these people know exactly what's going on in Nigeria. So the only way they will bring your issue up is if they have a problem with the Nigerian government. That way, they will arm Biafrans, and even you will see CNN, BBC, all of them in everywhere in Biafra land. Marudin putting cameras in front of Nigerian military men, and they won't do shit. So to that thing, he will go to the US, he will do that. I'm telling you, he can't even meet with a single congressman.
Why not? Why not? Does it mean that the people he's visiting?
Because he hasn't done his homework, there is nothing, they are not going to entertain you. There are more than a million people visiting them, writing the entire Congress about issues like this, and these issues are put in non-issues. Trash. They are put in junk.
One minute. Mr. Udoh, don't you think, even though like Nigerian government are having longer arm on this congressman, I believe that the people of United States or most of the congressmen also have a little room to listen to the other side of the story. Is it not possible?
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I want to say today, and I want people to listen to me very carefully in this show. IPOB, I really don't know what IPOB is really all about, in the sense of, just sitting down there to tell people follow, come and follow. If you don't follow, you're a saboteur. Minus that thing that I've heard enough of that. I really don't know the operations of IPOB when it comes to exposure to senators, exposures to congressmen, exposure to lobbying groups, not just. Like, for example, the other day I sat down, I was lying on my bed, I was thinking, has the IPOB even reached out to a lobbying group like NRA, the National Rifle Association, which is the most powerful lobbying group?
They don't have such, the people leading the movement don't have such such mode of thinking. It is way beyond them.
No,
it is beyond.
Have they reached out?
Let me come in. I've been too gentle since this discussion. Let me put that gentleman aside. I believe on one thing and one thing only. Maybe you have not researched more about Radio Biafra, but if you research about Radio Biafra, you will realize that Radio Biafra is a limited company in United Kingdom.
Of course, I'm coming.
You understand? And you, as a person, do you think that a company, not governmental body, a company in United States will leave their interests and working for the solution that will take their mouth out of their resources?
Well, here's the thing. And I want to thank you for that question. Here's the thing, though. There is what is called echoing. I was talking about the rebranding. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, you mentioned something like that.
About the rebranding. There's a way you can brand an issue. And believe you me, it has happened across the history of mankind. There's a way you can brand an issue, and that issue becomes something that, even though it is not for their best interest, but they agree with you. They say, okay, this reason you've brought before us, we can see what it's all about. Let me give you an example. I'm going to give you an example. In the United States, in those days of Jim Crow and all the racism and everything, we had a man in Atlanta, Georgia, who was the first mayor, a black man. He went and kept on having meetings with these white guys, the white side, to explain to them the need for them to bring in black people, to incorporate black people into the affairs of Atlanta, Georgia, that it is healthy for the society. He kept on hammering it until they began to see reason with him, even though it wasn't in their own best interest.
Yes.
But at some point when they accepted it, from that time on, Atlanta, Georgia became what you would know as maybe like the black capital of United States.
Chocolate City.
The Chocolate City. It became a place where it is not uncommon to see generations of black people who've been rich, who've been multi-millionaires. You come to see an elite, it's not a very common elite, but an elite of an upper middle class black people that don't exist in any other city in America. Now, what am I trying to say? Is it possible that we could take a very, very, because that's your question, can we take something that will not be to their advantage and bring it before them and they finally agree with us? Yes. If we know how we structure the argument, if we know how we structure the complaint. You see, is the structuring of the argument, is the structuring of the complaint that matters.
Let me go straight now. Are you in position to do such a thing if such a flag is being handed over to you?
If the flag is being handed over to me and you're ready to pay for my time to do it, I am ready to do it. And let us know that flag, which these people did that flag. Okay, do you know the story of what happened to Israel, that Israel was recognized? 1975, when Israel was recognized in the Security Council, there were people sleeping on the outside of the Security Council who had spent months with their suits on, running in front of the Security Council, and they were so exhausted that they were lying on the floor outside in the United Nations, their suits on. I am talking about a very incredible history. In fact, one of the greatest books I would tell people to read is a book called Exodus by Leon Uris. Exodus actually accurately portrays the struggle of Israel, of men sleeping inside planes. Their hotel room became planes flying across the world. It is not an easy job. It's a job of hell.
Bro, don't leave the issue of Israel at a corner, because there are many things that went on that ground.
Let me finish. I'm trying to answer my brother's question. Let me finish with this question. It was the ultimate diplomatic warfare. What I mean by diplomatic warfare is, we don't care whether you have jet lag or not. You are in a plane flying to Geneva. You pursue Mike Pompeo to United States. Mike Pompeo is eating breakfast in a hotel. You appear in that hotel and he gets angry with you and insults you and tells you he doesn't want to see you again. Mike Pompeo comes back and meets you in the United States Congress as you are lingering in the veranda. Mike Pompeo meets you everywhere till he's tired. And then finally, Mike Pompeo says, allow that man into my office. I'm sick of him. And then inside this story, I'm telling you, if they ask you how many times have you slept in the night, you've not slept. And I am talking about a situation where congressmen have heard your name. People are hearing your name at this point and they're angry. They are very, very angry. They're tired of you. Like, for example, Nancy Pelosi hears that you've appeared. Nancy Pelosi, in her daughter's birthday, is sitting down there trying to cut the cake. They see you standing over there with your suit on and your tie in a distance. They say,
and
get
waving
that
hand.
man out of here.
Waving hand.
I'm waving hand at you. Say, get him out of here. You country. The Israelites did it. They pursued till Nancy Pelosi now says, first thing in the morning, please call that man and tell him to come to the office. I'm sick of him. I'm tired of him. Or I'll kill him. And then you come to the office finally and you see Nancy every day. And Nancy is telling you, we won't do this thing. And you're telling Nancy, we will do this thing. Oh. Nancy says, okay, you know what? We won't see you. And you say, Nancy, I'm meeting you in Britain. We pursue this thing. That job, if they want to give me that job, in which that job will consume your life, I can do it. But that is what IPOB doesn't know this thing entails. It entails the pursuit of it. Do you know what I mean by the pursuit of a lifetime? You pursue this thing until, you have these men. Let me tell you, if you read the book, Exodus, these men, 6 months, 8 months at a time, have not seen their wife. They were consumed by the pursuit of this thing. They've not seen their wives. They don't even know what's happening with their children. They are in the air. They're in hotel rooms. They are running around in buildings. These men don't even, I'm talking about men that as they're running, how they get their clothes washed or how they get their things organized, they lose their lives in the movement. This IPOB we're talking about is a group of people now that they only attend IPOB when they have time. Monday to Friday, they're going to their normal jobs. Morning to Friday, I called some yesterday. They couldn't even answer my phone yesterday. I called from my own job. I called IPOB Houston to tell them, please, I'm calling to give you honor. They couldn't answer the phone because they're in their work. They're at their own workplace.
Okay.
So I am talking about a movement where our job is 24/7 the pursuit of Biafra, to the point of you lose your life in the pursuit. What I mean by losing your life is your wife calls you crying, today is your son's birthday, at least say happy birthday to him, and you're in a plane to Japan. And you now say, put him on the phone, say, Daddy will see you. And the boy will say, but Daddy, you said that in the last 4 birthdays. When are you coming home? I don't know, son, until we get.
Sorry, please. Call came in.
So, so they say, Dad, you've been in the air for like a year. Dad, you've been in hotel rooms for like 2 years. Dad, when will we see you? You say, son, I don't know. Okay, so Dad, where are you right now? I'm in Germany. I've been chasing Nancy Pelosi down the hallways in Germany. So Dad, I saw you on TV. They were arresting you. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. So when will we see you? Maybe 3 days time or 4 days. I don't know. I don't know. That is the statement a lot of those men used to give. I don't know. I don't know when you will see me. Because they pursued it with their lives. So IPOB is doing this thing where they're just IPOB. And it's like politics in Nigeria. I don't know what, because some of them, I'm really convinced that some of them are waiting for some kind of money that they can divide among themselves. But when it comes to pursuing a movement, do you know what it means to make a brand new country? To make a brand new country, you will sacrifice your life in it if care is not taken. And I'm talking about, people may see you and say he's enjoying. No, there's no enjoyment if your whole life is around hotel rooms, airplanes, and sleeping sometimes on benches in the Senate. I mean, you're sleeping with your suit on in a bench. It happened to Israel. If you read that book, you will cry. Men were sleeping with their ties on in benches. They lost their lives in the game. They had no life. No life. So if you guys are ready to give me that kind of a job and you want to pay me, and the payment, let me tell you, when you pay me, forget my life. My life is maybe a few of the payment is going to the suits I wear and stuff. The rest goes to your family so that they can. You give it. A lot of those men came back to divorces. They came back to divorce. I mean, in the air, as they're in the air, the wife called him, hello, say, hello, darling. I'm in the plane pursuing Mike. Say, I filed for a divorce. I filed. I've not seen you in 2 years. The men will just drop the phone and keep their head like this. So this thing is not a joke. That is why when I came in and I wanted to tell people the real nature of this movement, people were insulting me because they think it's about Facebook. No, it's beyond Facebook. It's beyond Facebook. It's beyond Facebook. It's about people losing their lives. I mean, you are consumed by the whole thing. Total consumption. Total. That's what we're talking about, my brother.
Thank you very much. My people, listeners, at least our brother Clayton just activated one part of my brain. Really, you really touched one part of my brain. And I believe that a lot of people listening will now see the gravity of what they are chasing. And most of their leaders are not even making it known to them that to divide a nation or to create a new country, you need to fight heavily for it. So I am happy. I know why I asked you that question. And I know a lot of people called me from the back. They have been watching your programs and they don't want to call direct or say something. So, but they do contact me and said I should talk to you. And I believe that after this show, if I go off air, I would like us to discuss a little before you would. I know that I have seized you for almost getting to 2 hours now. So, but I would say thank you very much for honoring this invitation. My people, this is our brother Clayton Udoh. He's from River State, Calabar, Akwa Ibom, and even he said that he don't call Igbo people. He said that, but I know that Calabar people and Abriba people, they are more connected because Abriba speak Calabar, Calabar part speak Abriba, and they have the same culture. They intermarry each other. They do a lot of things that shows that we are one. Only that the dialect change. The deeper it goes, the deeper the dialect become more harder to understand. I will tell my viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. And Clayton, please, can you give them your last word before we close for today?
My last word to the people of Biafra is, the last thing I want you to go away with is Biafra is possible. It can be daunting, but it's possible. The challenges is beyond Facebook. There's a lot of challenges. You need all the help you can get. Be it Clayton, an Akwa Ibom man, be it Peter from River State, be it a guy called Henry, that is an Orobo man, be it a man called Thomas, that is a Igala man. You need all the help you can get because it is a battle that is going to be very intense. At least one thing you take away from this show is Hausa Fulani is one part of the story. You have the oil companies to deal with. You have the World Bank to deal with. You have foreign countries that don't want you to become a power that competes against them. They have succeeded to put Africa in the place where they wanted Africa to be, where we have devalued currencies and shattered dreams and hopes. You're about to reverse the trend, create a currency that is one-to-one with the dollar, which is something that is like a horror movie to a white man. Create a currency that is one-to-one with the pound. Create a currency that is one-to-one with the euro. Forget about the smiles. Forget about the fact that you've succeeded in drinking in the same bars with them or sleep in their hotels. They don't want that. They don't want you to be on the same competing level with them. And forget about the pictures you see of those who are in this struggle taking pictures with them. They will take pictures with you, but what they say behind your back or in the underground chatter is something else. So we have to be realistic about this movement and about this battle. And we have to know that it involves a lot, both internally and externally. That is really what your brother has brought before you in this show. So when you want to talk about saboteurs, don't talk about the person who, if he doesn't talk exactly like you or looks exactly like you or behaves in a peculiar manner, he's a saboteur. No. Talk about the more complex issues. Your commissioners in your midst, your brother-in-law that is a local government chairman. Talk about the complex issues. Your mother-in-law who is a woman's leader for a local government for APC. These are all anti-Biafra elements. Okay? Look at very complex things. Look at those of us, a lot of us still have our contacts on our phones, and we call them our connections that are still part of the thing that we call the zoo. They are no more your friends. If you're really serious about this thing, there's a lot of friendships you will lose. There's even, some of you will even have, it will lead to brother fighting brother. Brothers fighting themselves because your brother is in the zoo and you are no more in the zoo. Your cousin is in the zoo and you're no more in the zoo. Your dad is in the zoo and you're no more in the zoo. It's a very complex game. One thing is us making Biafra, and one thing is us being happy inside Biafra. But there is nothing that is impossible, but please be aware and please ask the hard questions. And we love you. That's why we want you to ask the hard questions. We want you to solve every issue and to make all things ready. I thank you all, those of you who support me, and those of you who feel I'm strange, I'm not what you're used to. Get used to the idea that your new country will have people from so many different ethnic groups and so many regions.
Yes.
My brother, I want to thank you for bringing me on your show.
Thank you. God
you have
bless
done a great job. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So, my viewers, thank you. We will see you all, sir, next week, Saturday. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.